if you guys don't think Frieren is shaping up to be an absolute undisputed classic, then you guys must not be watching the same show as us, because this show has clearly shown us that Madhouse, dare I say it, is back, baby. We're back. Madhouse has finally delivered a truly wonderful, fully crafted, animated experience. It feels like old school Madhouse, you know, with some of the action scenes they're delivering and a lot of the character scenes. It just builds off each other so beautifully, and it just warms my heart to see Madhouse is back, you know? They're finally back. So before we even jump into this video, you guys gotta give a like for Studio Madhouse being back. Because this episode starts off with Fern talking to Stark, best boy Stark. You know, he is the best boy, as we learn in this episode. She finds out that this giant like crater that they've been standing in, that he's, look at how deep that is. I mean, you can see them right here, just chilling on the side there. So he's been doing this entire time, and he's like, you know, ever since I've been here, the dragon just been waiting around. You know, I feel like I'm letting these people down. You know, I'm supposed to be Stark the hero, but I feel like Stark the zero. So he really just thinks that, like, in his opinion, he just doesn't even realize that why the dragon isn't attacking the village. He just thinks to himself, man, I sure am a weak piece of crap. Meanwhile, he's walking through the freaking Grand Canyon, the world's first man-made Grand Canyon. Dude is like trying to race a machine versus a wall or something. And so he's like talking to her about how he got a scar on his forehead from his master, and his master literally just like smacked the fuck out of him. And it was honestly a really like, it was really, I know I just laughed, but it was a really like powerful moment, because like that was the first time he'd ever gotten hit, and dude was just standing over him. And so it just seems like, it just seems so like crazy. Like, dude, did oh, I forget his name, Eisen really just fucking deck his own pupil through the wall? Like, dude, what did you do to make this dude so mad? That's all I could think about, is what did this nigga do to make him so mad? And so he's like, she's giving him courage. She's like, you know, I don't think you'll run, because when I fought my first monster, I ran too, but Frieren didn't help me. And then when I did actually beat the monster, you know, it just took resolve. And Stark learning that he needs the resolve too, to put his skills to use, to have faith in himself and in the lessons that he's been taught from his master too. Because that's really what the show is about, is kind of the resolve. And we see it in the next scene when Stark, you know, he comes back and he's like, you know, I will agree to kill the dragon, well, I'll hold it off for 30 minutes, but if I die, you have to promise that you'll kill the dragon. And so he's standing there about to face the dragon, and he's absolutely just like trembling and shaking and shivering. And Frieren just makes it like, yo, you're just like Eisen, for real. You know, we flash back to Eisen fighting his master, who apparently was a giant demon lion. So that was really interesting. So I don't know what the hell is going on in dwarf country, but clearly these guys were built different. But Eisen, the great hero, the man who saved the entire world, one of the men who saved the entire world from the Demon King, even he got scared before like a fight like this. Even Eisen was trembling, you know? And he's like, it's my fear that has brought me this far. You know, I'm not afraid to be afraid, because I am afraid, I fight and I keep going. So it was just a really beautiful sentiment to really bring us in, and that smooth transition too. That smooth transition there was absolutely incredible, and it was way worth it, because yo, I gotta be honest, I don't know what these animators were smoking, right? Because he pulls up to the dragon, and Frieren's like, bro, wait a second. And Fern's like, yo, why isn't it attacking him? And she's like, it knows better than to attack a strong opponent. So we have to watch what happens next, guys. You won't, when I tell you, Madhouse absolutely snapped with this animation, guys. I gotta pause it for the copyright. You know copyright's gonna be here. You know, I don't want the Madhouse ninjas to strike down my video. Look at this, bro. Look at this scene of him just running, dog. It literally just looks like they captured some footage of a dude actually just running. I love the way that they frame the shots. We zoom over to the dragon's eye and pull out and see him still running. It almost feels like a continuous shot, and him just like spinning around to slide under the dragon, absolutely insane. My man is keeping pace, bro. This dude is absolutely like insane. I feel like we haven't gotten like a fight scene, a physical like melee scene this well animated from this show yet. And this definitely is like, it holds up. Like, it is worth it for having to wait this long, because my man, look at him, bro. Look at him absolutely just book it. He is booking it across this the fields of like the dragon, just completely destroying the ground as it's flying up, and they really just snapped with this entire cut of animation, dog. Him just like, oh my god, dude, he literally, this feels like something that like I was gonna say like a Madhouse, but like it literally is Madhouse. Like, they're back. This is why I'm saying, guys, Madhouse is back. This feels like a scene out of the One Punch Man, like season 1, of like Genos running up on someone about to lay a smackdown too. And then we get the flashback too of Eisen being like, you know, we parted because I hit him. Because I was afraid, dog. This dude had me afraid. My body moved on reflex. I thought I was going to die. Just going to show how strong Stark is. This dude is an absolute beast, a unit. He was like, bro, I couldn't believe it. I socked him in the face before I even realized what happened, bro. He literally, my boy Eisen, dog, shout out to the guy, the absolute legend. They zoom out from Frieren and he just destroys the dragon's claw. Goes in for a powerful, wicked blow. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then not only that, dog, he even lands just right on top of it and just gives him a nice little smack right in the face, bro. Just climbs up on there. And yeah, he gives him the wallop. I won't go through the entire fight scene, but you know, just before it ends, my boy does, it's just like, look at this, dog. Look at that. The impact, the meteor in the effect, bro, and the explosion too. So perfect. Absolutely perfect. We really just went on a really crazy and incredible ride. And the fact, so it's kind of funny because he pulls up and he's like, fire! The dragon is down, I got it. And she's like, she's like, no, don't actually fire. She stops running from firing. And we're just like, bro, what is going on? And he's like, bro, what the hell are you doing, you old hag? Kill this damn dragon. And she's like, bro, omae mo shinderu. It's already dead, bro. You killed it. And she's like, and I was sitting there too shocked. I'm just like, bro. And she's like, an old hag, huh? Oh, so you think I'm an old hag? That is just, it's just, I love the way these characters are written. It was just such a funny moment. And they really have just a fun dynamic. He is kind of a hothead, not even really a hothead. He is just kind of a bit more blunt, you know. He's a bit more, blunt. I think it would say, because you know, after this scene, they decide to party up. My guy leaves the town, and he's completely stunned that he just killed a dragon by himself. And Frieren's like, "Yo, good job, swagger. You know, swag 9,000." And he's like, "You know what? I think I'm ready for a ridiculous fun journey, so I'm going to start traveling with you." So they go together, they show up at this town, and they're literally just like, this was a funny scene too of her looking at his clothes. That was the tome that she wanted. The whole reason they fought the dragon was because Frieren wanted the tome that let her see through people's clothes. And yeah, they get to this town while they're trying to head north, and this guard dude is like, yeah, no, y'all, the checkpoint's closed. Everyone, y'all better not cause any trouble in my city. I will smack the fuck out of you. And so, you know, he gets called off by the higher up. And, you know, Frieren's just like, you know, guard, he's a good guard. You know, he's doing what he's got to do, protecting the city. So she leaves. She's like, I'm going to go do my own thing. I don't care how long we stay here. Dude is like, do you want to go grab some food? And she gets all pissed. And he's like, all right, I'm going to go get some food by myself. Because I like that Fern is kind of more, Fern has already been traveling with Frieren for a while. So she's a little bit socially awkward, and she doesn't really know how to communicate. But also because her sense of time is so dilated from being with Frieren, she has kind of like worried about how long she can actually stay in the city. And so to overhear that, like, yeah, man, I think it'll probably be at least like 2 years before the checkpoint opens. And she's like, dog, I do not want to spend 2 years in this damn city. So bro goes out to get some eat, and he has to get some ice cream, and he has some memories of recollection. And he has a really funny conversation with the bartender, and I love the dialogue in the show too. The show is really well written. I feel like the light novel or the manga, whatever came first, was also probably as well written too. So it's just really fun to see their interactions too. Because she pulls up She pulls up and she's like, "Look, bro." She's so weird too. She like pulls up and just stares at him too. She looks like she's actual like yandere moment right now. But then the animators go and they put all this detail into her sitting down, and for what reason? Just for her asking for a glass of milk, and it's just so funny because we don't even see their face too. So it's kind of implying that like it's putting us at such a distance from the characters, but they're sitting so close to each other. It's kind of this is like the closest they've been all episode, and I think this is kind of symbolism for this conversation that they have, where she's like, "What if I told you you'd have to wait 2 years in this city?" And he's like, "Nah, not really my thing. I'll pass on that." And she gets like super close, bro. She's like, "Oh my god, same here, me too, literally." So like she just has like she's like, "I'm glad you're normal," but she's literally like within a fucking SpongeBob Patrick popsicle lick distance of her fucking face, of his face. And so they decide, let's try to figure out some ways to get out of here. So she's like, let's check the markets. The markets don't work. He's like, can we fly over it? She's like, no, we can't fly because they got a border to protect from flying monsters. And he's like, we might have to check the black market and the thieves guild first. And so they go, walk around a criminal alley, and he kind of looks like a scumbag. And I love that they're just like using that, Stark is kind of like, he's just out here intimidating people. He's kind of hilarious, guys. You got to leave a like for Stark, the best boy in this show, because he's really taking over the scene. The fact that he was the one coming up with most of the suggestions of where to look for how to get past the checkpoint. And we have this shot of them standing at this gate or on the castle walls with this framing right here with the castle walls. They're standing in between the gaps of the wall, and I really loved this scene when I was watching it, because I kind of noticed that they're framing them as a way of with a lot of distance and foreground, especially with her being trapped in the city and him being free on the outside. She feels like she's gonna be trapped with Frieren in this city for 2 years. Meanwhile, he has no idea what's going on, and the castle wall dividing them was really great because they're having a conversation about how she's like, bro, you're more intense than I am, and it was my idea. What's your deal? And he's like, I don't have a lot of time because I feel like, my master, he actually brought me to this very spot too. Look at this. Where they're standing, it fades in to a scene of him and Eisen as a kid together in one little gap between the castle walls. So it's just a beautiful transition, y'all. I seriously love the style of this show. It's not as stylish as Undead Murder Farce, but if you guys are looking for a stylish show, like with stuff like this, with very interesting like visual medium transitions, definitely check out Undead Murder Farce. But yeah, this show for me is just checking all of the boxes when it comes to heart, when it comes to action, when it comes to sentimentality, because he's and it just checks all the boxes. His main goal right now, he says, I want to go on a ridiculously fun adventure and so I can go back to my master and tell him all the stories that he told me to repay him for his own adventure. It's like, so I'm glad that there's not really a lot of ill will now that he knows that the reason that Eisen socked him in the face and left him scarred was because the dude literally flinched. He flinched. He's like, "Oh, don't hit me!" And he fucking socked him in the face because he was just that strong of a warrior. And for them to be like, all right, we got no choice left to go ask the guards. And they run into Frieren, and she's being pursued by the guards. And she's like, bro, what is she getting herself into? I'm literally thinking that, they're trying to, oust her from the city or, force her to go fight or whatever. But dude literally pulls up out of nowhere. Literally out of nowhere. And it's just like, I'm so sorry, Frieren. I'm so sorry. And she's like, oh my god, no. So what ends up happening is that, as I love that this happens everywhere they go, but she gets recognized by an old hat who's like, oh my god, Frieren, you're one of the heroes, dog. Of course you can go through the city. So they end up getting the heroes fanfare, the heroes exit, departure. But she's literally talking about the whole time. She's like, man, she didn't even she was more than happy to spend those 2 years just waiting and doing research. I think she only got to buy one book. So and meanwhile I'm pretty sure they get through in a day. It takes them a day to get to the city. So they just spent the entire time trying, they had a nice little adventure. Stark and Fern had a nice little bizarre adventure today. And I think it really helped them get closer too, it was funny him asking her out, you want to go grab a bite to eat? And she'd be like, nah, dude, I'm cool. But then by the end of the episode, they're really opening up to each other. And, he is, and especially because she opened up at the beginning to him too, about her first time fighting a monster. And him at the end, just uh, bringing everything back to his parents, not his parents, his master, and then having Frieren, him having Stark be like, you know, I bet this is what it was like for my master when he left the North too, and to have her flashback to them leaving with the exact same like rose petals and stuff falling from the side, the same gate. She's like, yeah, that's about right. It's pretty similar, you know. You're not wrong. So I just love the way that this series plays with the passage of time. I think that's its biggest like element. That's the thesis of this show is adventures and the passage of time, and also elves. Elves are weird. Elves are always weird in fantasy, but yeah, this has just been a really wonderful show. Episode 6 is so great. I'm definitely recommending this show. I'm gonna sit some of my friends down and show them the first half of this episode, because the whole build up and execution to the dragon fight, I think even on its own is just a very like nice like contained story. You don't need a whole bunch of context to kind of see it in the show, especially if you're already familiar with like anime and like fantasy tropes. You kind of understand, and especially because they lay it out so cleanly. But yeah, no, that's actually, yeah, that's the best way I can describe this episode. This episode was very clean. So let me know what you guys thought. I don't know why I just choked over that so badly. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace. Don't forget to leave a like for Best Boy Stark. You gotta love this guy.